the first day when our residency started. We had a lunch of all residents together. We sat down together as the whole pediatrics first year class and kind of sat almost across from each other. And that's the first time I saw Afreen. I didn't really know much about. Seemed like a cool friend to have, so that's how we started to get to know each other. I think at that time we all were lost, like puppies in the field trying to figure it out, the residency and kind of the work that is ahead. But then
it was pretty much the same orientation that we first met. We didn't, other than just hi and who we are, where we are from, we didn't really have too much of a conversation that time. I feel we just took a picture together with the whole 8 of us who were joining and starting together. I first started noticing Yuri more in once we started residency and I started being on the wards, on the floors, that he was always a happy, smiling face that would come in and check, hey, is everything okay? Did you eat? Do you want me to get you food? I got some food. I have a little bit extra. Do you want to have that? He was very caring and was always looking to see if I think he understood the most about where I was coming from, how new everything was for me, and was putting in a lot of effort to make sure that I was comfortable and I had everything I needed. If he was a person I could ask hey, I cannot figure this out, or I'm lost in the hospital, where do I go from here? He was that person for not just me, our whole the batch who started together. And that's how I think I started to notice him more, his personality, and then we started talking to each other more and spending more time with each other.
I think initially, it like Afreen said, I think I spent a lot of time in Springfield beforehand as a med student, and so I knew the area, and so I felt comfortable there, and kind of I also have a background of coming to a different country, not knowing everybody, so I felt like I knew what a lot of people in my batch or in my group kind of going through, and just try to help them with the hospital, try to help them with kind of getting their life together in a new place. I think for a lot of our batchmates, they had significant others, so they had somebody who was in kind of close by, or they knew the area, so it was a little bit different. I think Afreen was one of the few who had nobody here close by. Her brother was far away, and so this was somebody who I felt like I can help out, just kind of transition to a new place and just kind of start new jobs.
We actually have it pretty the other way around. We didn't go to our first date until a couple of months of spending time with each other. Most of the time we spent was, it's kind of weird, but finishing up notes after our shifts. It was just on our hospital floors. We both had notes to write, and we would stay there a couple of hours after our shift writing those, and then we ended up talking to each other, getting to know about each other's lives with that. And then I think we had a resident retreat that we went to, which is just all the residents, we go out to a little cabin lodge. It's just a getting to know each other kind of activity. We got to know each other a lot more during that retreat. And when we came back from there, he asked because we both talked about how we both like night lights in the city and just going for drives. And he asked, hey, I'm going for a drive just around the lake, and would you like to come? And I was kind of already getting ready to go to bed by that time, and I was I mean, we both liked each other by then, so it's like, sure. And then we got ready, we went for our first drive. So we talked a little bit about work, a lot about other things we liked to do, it was more, I think, things outside work that we started speaking about. How we spent our college and medical school years and what things we liked to do. It was random things like lighthouses, stars, drives, roads.
Drive. I was nervous. I think, of kind of what she's thinking, where is this gonna go? I think at that time, so after the retreat, we kind of connected in a way that we get to know each other on a personal level, kind of where we're from, kind of what the things that we like, the things that we enjoy doing. So this was kind of continuation, and at this point I didn't want it to lose track of that, or it was something that I wanted to continue to develop and see what happens. Either friendship or more. I think at that time I was still not really familiar or not really sure where we're gonna go. But I thought, okay, I want to find out more about this girl, and I want to find out more of who she is, what she likes, what she doesn't like. So yeah, that one of the things that I like to do is kind of look at the night sky and lights and go for drives, and kind of from us talking, it sounded that she liked that too. So this was the time for us to kind of do something together we both enjoy.
I think my thoughts about him were very, it wasn't like in a moment, it was through the course of many things. It was bits and pieces from him, the way he was worried about how, when all of our new class joined, the way he would interact with his parents, the way he would talk about his little cousin sister and how he cared for her and had pictures of her all over his phone, his house. I think that made me really think that he would be like, he really cares for his family, and he puts that before everything else. And I think that was a moment that made me think that it would be really good to have him as a husband, as a father to our children, or like he's a really caring guy too, and I felt like that wouldn't change. That was inherent in him. That was not something that he was making up, because I saw how he interacted with other people in his family.
So the first time I thought of Afreen as more than just a girl I liked, I think it was when we were on one of the drives, and we were on this high parking garage, and we were looking at lights, and we were just talking about kind of our future. And I think when we start talking about other people, and then when I felt something of like, hey, I think maybe this girl is somebody that I want to have in my life down the road, and somebody who I would think about and wanted to kind of see and every day. And I think ever since then it's slowly started to be kind of from a girl that I wanted to get to know more to where we are now. So what was I looking in a wife at that time? I was looking for somebody who can be a good mother to my children. I think that was the main goal throughout my life, is I wanted to have somebody who is dependable, who is kind, who would have similar values to me.
So what I was looking for in a husband was someone who is caring, who is like similar to Yuri, kind, understanding, who would let me be myself, but feel free to correct me and help us kind of grow together. And I feel that's what I felt with Yuri. I was my most free self, the one, like some part of me that even my closest family would not see, part of me that's who I am in my own room, in my own world, I was able to be that person with Yuri, and that's it. He made me feel more free and more happy in everything we did, in things we did together, in things we did apart. Every time we had something new in our life, something exciting, a small gift, like our first thought was to tell it to each other. Like, oh, I went, he started doing the same. Like, he went for a car show and really wanted to tell me about how that was and what cars he saw, even though my knowledge of cars is very, very poor. But it was nice to kind of see that excitement in him when he was telling me about things he liked or things he was happy about. And I think that has still not stopped. It has continued all throughout. And I think that's mainly what I was looking for, someone whom I can depend on, who is going to be faithful, who is going to be truthful, to whom I've never had to kind of think twice before I tell him about my weaknesses, things that I did wrong. I felt safe with him, in confiding in him and in figuring things out together. And I think that's what worked for both of us, or I hope it's going to continue working for the rest of our lives.
So if I'm on a Zoom call and somebody asks what Afreen looks like and what I feel about her and what I love about her, she's this tiny person with an adorable smile and my kind of nose. I love her nose and the forehead. So I know that's my nose. And always cheerful and sometimes a lot of times shy even. I guess when she's not familiar with, but very pleasant to talk to. So they that's what her appearance, and I guess I would describe her as how would you recognize her in a hall, in a bar, or wherever else she is in a restaurant. But kind of what I love about her is in a way similar, and in addition to that, this kind of kindness, innocence, this kind of her adorable eyes, and the look she makes sometimes with them, and I think those are the main ones. And then some of the stuff that we personally feel to each other, and kind of the comfort that we feel to each other. I think it's something it's hard to describe, but that would be something I would be thinking about if I would be thinking about a friend.
So if I was talking to my best friend in India, this is literally how it happened. So I met someone, and obviously her first question was, okay, tell me more. And it's like, okay, so he is from Ukraine. He's this really tall white guy with a bald head. I used to always tell my friends I love men with like lots of like silky hair, and then she's like, huh? I'm like, yeah, but he's really cute, so it still works. And you cannot miss him in a crowd because of his bald head and white face and height. But he's this really cute guy with a very pleasant smile, a very kind smile. And he is from Ukraine, and even though we grew up in two completely different parts of the world, we actually have a lot of similarities in our families, in our customs, in our beliefs, in the way we think about things, and ended up that we have more similarities than anybody else that I've like known in my life, in India or here, and it just seemed right, and that's how we both felt, and we both were surprised as to how alike our thoughts were on many things, and so we fell in love and are getting married in a couple of days.
So the wedding is in a couple days. how I feel. I feel like I feel great. I feel excited about the wedding, but it would be a lie to say that I'm not nervous. I think the nervous part comes with, you know, kind of some people who planned to be there, they were not able to, or like some of the people who would be taking pictures, for example, or the lights, or everything. It seems something along the way always either goes wrong or just unable to go right and just goes different way. And I think at this time we'll just try to figure it one step at a time, one task at hand, and hopefully by the end most of the tasks that I needed to do will be done. So I am excited and terrified at the same time. I think terrified of the event going well, but excited about the wedding itself. If you just have two of us and just do it, I think completely great in a way, but at the same time I miss out on everybody else seeing it too. So it's kind of, but it's great, but it's terrifying too.
So the marriage is in a couple of days from now. I'm not actually nervous about the wedding itself. I am excited. I think we have talked about a life together, and I'm excited to see how it is going to look like. It is with the man I love, the man I want to spend the rest of my life with, the man I'm excited to know his, his little quirks, his little qualities, his little, things he does around the house, and I'm excited to learn more of it. I am a little bit worried about the setup of everything and how everything is going to flow, but at the end of the day, in my heart, I know that no matter what happens, I am still marrying the person I love, and no matter what goes wrong on that day or what goes right, it's still going to be the two of us tied together in a sacred married life. I'm looking forward to it.